I'm not sure if there were any, John. Thought maybe you'd break out with some kind of a rugby scrum two-step or something like that, but you did a nice job. Actually, the first thing I want to do is address the Spooner and Coglin kids. They're not kids anymore, but as you guys know, we've had quite a few family dinners through the years, and but nothing quite like last night or tonight. And so I just want to make sure you guys have a really good time, enjoy it tonight, because after this, we're back to hot dogs and hamburgers. So, on behalf of Sharon and I, and Dan and Maddie, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us here today and tonight and celebrating this wonderful occasion. It's just a beautiful day, and we really appreciate it. I know many of you traveled quite some distance to get here, and it's greatly appreciated. I know Hallie and Dan certainly are happy you're here. You know, I remember some 20 years ago when the Coglins moved in and they drove that big station wagon up the driveway next door. Fortunately for us, Dan Coglin made the right decision and brought his talents back to Cleveland from South Beach. And just as fortunately, Sharon talked me out of my decision to put up that big fence between our two houses. And the rest is history. We're just very fortunate and blessed to have the Coglins as neighbors and friends over the last 20 years. I'm really looking forward to the next phase of our relationship as members of the family. So speaking of phases or stages, those of you that are parents know that as you raise your children, they go through this series of stages. And each one of those stages brings about a set of emotions in us as parents. And oftentimes those emotions are things like worry, concern, and anxiety. And I think those get magnified also maybe when it's your firstborn child, and probably even more so when it's your daughter. And so I remember a lot of those different stages with Hallie very vividly. And you know, like the first day of kindergarten. And you know, we put Hallie on the bus that first day. And you know, we were all day long, you couldn't get any work done. We were worried, you know, how was she gonna enjoy it? How was she gonna be? Was she gonna be happy? Fortunately, she bounded off that bus that first day with a big smile on her face, you know, and she was great. Kind of fast forward to the first day of college, and when we dropped her off at Wittenberg, and kind of messed up and lost track of time, and we ended up having to pretty much drop her off at the curb. Because I had to get back at a flight that night, and I had to get back, and so we dropped her off at the curb. It was like, you know, hey, bye, see ya. And we both cried the entire way back, you know, from Springfield to Cleveland. And I remember that next week, fielding calls all week long. We were worried about her, and you know, she was homesick. She wanted to come home, and of course we would let her. But you know how worried you were, you're concerned about her. And fortunately, that next Saturday there was a great party, and you know, she went to it, and she was all in after that, so all was good. And then the next major one was when she was a junior, and she went to study abroad in Italy. And I flew to New Jersey with her, you know, so that I could see her off on the flight to Lawrence, wherever she was going at the time. You know, I could have left her in Cleveland, but no, I was overprotective, and I had to go to New Jersey with her and, you know, see her off from there. And then the other problem was I told her that she couldn't call home more than once a week because I was too cheap. I didn't want to pay international charges. Like, no, just once a week. And of course, we sweated it out that entire week. You know, wondering how she's doing. She's in Florence, Italy. We don't know what's going on. And again, later on, we find out she's been traveling through Italy, and she's planning to go to Oktoberfest in Germany, you know, and everything was good there too. So now here we are to the next stage, and her marriage. And, you know, all those other times there was worry, there was anxiety, there was concern. But I can tell you very honestly, there's none of that at all. There's nothing but happiness and joy and pride. You know, we're so happy for Hallie because, you know, that she's happy. She's found a great partner with John. And, you know, we're so happy to have John's son-in-law. I remember when he asked me to go to breakfast to ask for her hand in marriage. And I thought it was kind of fishy because he offered to pay. You know, he asked, and I said, you know, there was no hesitation at all. Absolutely no hesitation. We're so happy to have John as a son-in-law, and in many ways we consider him a son. As a matter of fact, it's kind of a great birthday present, right? I get another son. And the only downside is he eats just as much as the other two. So I was trying to think of what kind of advice or wisdom I can impart on the two here this evening, and Hallie will be the first to admit that I'm not shy about giving advice. Most of the time unsolicited. The wisdom might be a little questionable, but there's plenty of advice to go around. So, and actually John may have gotten a hint of that over the last couple of months. But I've decided not to do that tonight. There'll be plenty of that in the future. Matter of fact, we actually outsourced that to all of you. If you look on your tables, you know, you've got your table numbers, and there's a marriage tip on there. Compliments of many of you at the couple shower that we had, as well as left on the website. So I want to thank you all for that. And again, there'll be plenty of advice. Again, most of it unsolicited in the future. But I do want to leave them with two wishes here tonight. And the first is, I wish them a lifetime of love and happiness and good health. And the second one is this. I hope that you are as fortunate as I am. And 29 years from now, you too can stand up here in front of all your family and all your friends and tell them that you love each other even more than you did on the day you were married. God bless the two of you. Good luck. We love you. There's one more thing, a little family business for Dan and Maddie. You guys remember when the kids were getting a little bit older, kind of those teen years, and we decided the whole idea of sleepovers was probably not a good idea anymore. So we put the no sleepover rule in effect. I think we probably ought to take that off. All right, have fun tonight.